point blank, do you own any individual stock? And you told me, no. Let's just look at it. It was not a difficult question. Do you own individual stocks, Madam Secretary? You said no. In fact, you repeated it 3 times to me. No, no, no. Turns out that was false. You did own multiple individual stocks, and you neglected to report it to this committee for months afterwards. Why did you mislead this committee?
Oh, my goodness.
That was exactly my response. So why did you mislead this committee?
I believed that I had sold all individual stocks, and I was incorrect. So I came back.
You just don't know your portfolio?
Pretty much.
It's a big one, I guess, huh?
No, it's extremely small.
Apparently not. Someone manages it for you?
So I came back as soon as I found out that, in fact, I had not sold all individuals.
Wait. No, that's not true either. Let's just look at the timeline. Let's not. I just remind you, you're under oath. Madam Secretary, you testified you didn't own any individual stocks. You didn't sell the stocks for a whole nother month. And after you sold the stocks, you waited another month before you informed this committee. Why did you mislead us? And what were you hiding? Why did you wait so long? Why did you hide this?
I did not hide it because I brought it forth to the committee when I realized that we had made a mistake.
Really? What explains the delay? Why did you wait for a full month to explain your actions to this committee, your false testimony?
That's less than a month, and I sent a letter explaining what had happened.
May the 15th to June the 9th.
Because I owned a Ford stock that was...
You misled this committee, and you wait. What were the stocks? What were the stocks that you owned?
It was a Ford stock that my husband had owned since he was very young, and I just was not aware of it.
And what were the others? You sold 6 stocks. What were the other 5?
I sold non-conflicting stocks.
What were they?
Honestly, I don't even know. I do know the Ford one because that was a conflict.
You don't.
That's why I raised this.
You're here before this committee a year later after actively misleading to us, after denying and delaying, and now you won't tell us. Was one of them Proterra?
No.
You sat on the board of directors at Proterra. You made millions, CNN reports, and stock options at Proterra. Then you promoted Proterra stock and Proterra products as energy secretary. Was that one of the stocks that you sold?
This is so... I mean, really.
Was that one of the stocks you sold? Yes,
No,
really.
no.
You were presiding over institutionalized corruption in your energy department. You have violated the Stock Act 9 separate times. You have been referred by the Inspector General for violations of the Hatch Act. It is institutionalized corruption that you are now the face of. And here's what I'm trying to figure out. I just want to know who really runs the energy department. Is it you? Or is it the mega corporations whose stock that you own that you're making profits in?
Oh, my goodness.
Or maybe it's the foreign billionaires who fund your conferences. Let's try something else. Do you know the names of the foreign billionaires who fund the conferences you go to? Since you don't know the stocks, do you know the names of the foreign billionaires?
This is unbelievable to me.
Let me help you.
Mr. Chairman.
One of them is Hans-Ort Weiss, a Swiss billionaire who has used various dark money front groups.
I do not know what you are talking about.
Various dark money front groups to funnel foreign money into American politics. He has used the Burger Action Fund, $20 million, that then sent money to the Fund for a Better Future, that then sent money to the Climate Power Group that has funded conferences you've attended. Do you know who this is? Do you think it's a good idea to attend conferences by foreign billionaires?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know the stocks. You don't know the billionaires. You would take no responsibility. Meanwhile, your energy department, executives in your energy department are trading stocks in companies that they have direct oversight over, and you were too.
That is incorrect. Nobody in the Department of Energy, and we have a strong ethics office, does not trade stocks in anything that they have oversight over.
That is simply not true, Madam Secretary.
Sir,
the Wall Street Journal has reported on this extensively.
If I may, Senator, if I may just ask a question, is it possible that maybe we can continue this at a later time? But if you had any questions on the direct energy policies.
Mr. Chairman, this is directly relevant to institutionalized corruption in the Department of Energy that she oversees. You're, I think, about to say that the Wall Street Journal report's wrong.
The Wall Street Journal report did not say that people over whom they were in areas where they were directly overseeing had stocks. They did not. Our ethics office consults with all of our employees that need to be that have a reporting requirement about their stock holdings. They do not own stocks in areas that they have any influence over, nor do I.
Madam Secretary, all I have to say is this record is just deplorable. It is despicable. It is outrageous that hundreds of officers in the Energy Department are trading shares. It is outrageous that you misled us. It is outrageous that you are continuing to mislead us. And it is outrageous you're going to conferences and events funded by foreign billionaires using dark money to try to influence our politics. This has got to change. And frankly, you should go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Since this app is getting banned, fuck it. Hydrating yourself, you have to drink food coloring. If you have a headache, you need to eat food coloring. If you want a mouthwash, you have to mouthwash with food coloring. Brush your teeth with food coloring. Sweat less with food coloring. Wash your body with food coloring. In America, this should only be acetaminophen. But only here do we add all of these extra random ingredients to the concoction. Always food coloring. Dye your hair with food coloring. Wash your clothes with words that none of us can even read. Snack on food coloring, multiple food colorings, of course. We can drink microplastics. When you break down everything in this aisle, it's just oil, salt, and some sort of carbohydrate mixed with a ton of hyperpalatable ingredients that are no good for you. If you need energy drinks, there's something underlying that's wrong. Or candy, same thing for children until you get older and understand the effects on gut health. Cookies are actually not even real food. It's just sugar and junk. Now they're even freeze-drying our candy to make us think it's better for us. If you actually look at the ingredients on these versus these, they're the exact same. Eat some foaming Skittles. Nuts and seeds could and would be good for you if you didn't buy them in America. Because this should be a cashew with rosemary and sea salt. But it's a cashew with sugar, peanut oil, silicone dioxide, anti-caking agents. Like, what are we doing? So out of this entire aisle, you have regular almonds. Everything else is not even food. You have one option. Same thing, your crackers, your snacks, your cookies, your chips, no options. Imagine if everyone in the world knew, wow, that's the only healthy thing in this entire aisle. We have turned actual fruits and vegetables into juice drinks, stripping them of a majority of their nutrients. You see, proudly baked in the USA. Of course it was, because it's going to contain a bunch of food coloring. We're in another aisle of just food coloring, grains, and oils. I mean, this one's so colorful it's crazy, but it cools your mouth. Wonder what ingredient they're using over here to cool our mouth. Well, that's right, probably banned ingredients. You got your yummy non-omega-3 fatty acid oils, which yes, you need omega-6 and omega-9, that's normal, but they use that and all the other things that have the bad ingredients. We have Jell-O, which is going to contain maltodextrin, acesulfame, aspartame, and food coloring. But remember, it's because it's an American company. So you can see, American company, sucralose, HFCS, high fructose corn syrup. So here's where it comes together. You have Heinz, an American company. There's your HFCS again. Then you come over to the ketchup, and there's your HFCS again. But here you go again, and there you go again. Some of the foods over here are engineered so good that other brands can't wait to get a part of it. But remember, they're always American companies, selling to Americans things that are banned in other countries. So based on everything that you've just seen, with boxes of corn syrup, end caps of supposedly edible, do you really think they're banning it because it's a national security risk? Yeah, imagine everybody walked down the grocery store aisle and didn't buy a single one of these foods because they knew that only the large corporations can afford to be sitting on the end cap, because then they can be loaded with a bunch of ingredients that aren't good for you as a human, because they're all just creating different forms of the same thing. So why would all of these companies in the United States of America want an app banned in the United States of America? I think you know the answer to that question. See you on my other platforms, I guess.
My Justin Baldoni's lawyers have now leaked the official footage of her alleged sexual harassment, and I now need this to go to trial. So the story goes, essentially, he says she didn't even read the book before signing on to the project. Then she read the book and kind of became consumed with it and wanted to basically introduce her own lines and wanted to become a part of the project and rework the script. So she submitted to him her ideas for how to rework the script, and apparently he gave her feedback, essentially saying, like, you know, I really love how passionate you are about this project. Maybe we'll take some of these ideas, but like, obviously we're not going to take all these ideas because it's our project. And this was not good for Blake.
Balake.
She said, no, this does not work for me. I am Blake Lively. I have, my children are the godchildren of Taylor Swift. We get what we want in life. And right now I want your movie. Then he provides Blake Lively's response. And she actually wrote this, guys. She wrote this. This is her text message back to Justin Baldoni. She wrote, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually for better. Because my dragons also protect those that I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise. Little smiley face. I'm so scared. Why do celebrities not know they're insane? Like, do they know that human beings don't text like that? That's my question. Do they understand that at no point in my entire life am I texting that to anybody, especially when we're dealing with a work setting and somebody is the person who is running the movie. It's their project. I'm like, I've got little monsters, little dragons, and their names are Taylor Swift. I don't often use them, but if you give me what I want, yes, exactly what I want, they are not going to figuratively blow fire on your head. That's insane. And I loved the internet immediately recognizing how problematic this storyline was. TikTok is calling this basically her text message a self-fulfilling prophecy. Take a listen.
Wait, I'm sorry. Blake Lively comparing herself to Khaleesi has to be one of the wildest cases of self-fulfilling prophecy I've seen to date. Like, everyone's making fun of her for saying that, but what's more Khaleesi than being a once beloved public figure who stood to win it all and lost it in a fiery rage? Like, no, like, it is giving twin. She's absolutely accurate. And just like in Game of Thrones, in the end, those dragons did not mean
Yes, it did. The dragons in the end did not actually matter. So I don't know who's supposed to be Jon Snow. I have to assume it is her husband, Ryan Reynolds, but because he's loyal to Khaleesi, that's the whole thing. But now, because of this, Disney and Marvel are getting dragged into this drama. Okay, so Bob Iger of Disney and the Marvel CEO Kevin Feige have now received from Brian Friedman a preservation order. Okay, Baldoni's attorney believes that Blake Lively's husband was flagrantly mocking Baldoni in a sequence of the movie Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine, which was released by Disney in July.
Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist. Right.
So there you have it. That was also one of the things that was at the root of this lawsuit. She's saying that she had just had a baby. He's calling her Mrs. Deadpool and saying that he had commented on her body and he's not supposed to do that. So it's pretty blatant, okay? Brian Friedman, the lawyer on this case, is not kidding.
I don't know what you heard about me.
Brian, hit me up. I got to have you on my team somewhere, because not only did he go after all of these people, but now he decided to flat out release the scene in question, basically the climax of Blake Lively's abuse lawsuit. Here is the first clip where you're going to hear them talking, both of them talking about their husbands. This is so weird. Take a listen.
They win!
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring? You just stare.
we've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally hear each other, and
When I
time
found a sociopath.
and time stops.
Yeah.
But that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's not enough time.
And they score again.
No. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
So they're just having a conversation about their respective spouses, and he's saying how much he loves his wife and that he still stares into her eyes, and she's saying that her and Ryan never stop speaking. How uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How is this allowed? Literally, I'm just asking the question, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived a rape? Because that's what it sounded like to the public when she spoke about everything that he possibly did when she first dropped that or had someone on her team leak to the New York Times, that initial complaint filed in California. You just go, how is this allowed? This is a real headline coming out of People magazine. They are saying that they're going to create, and I am talking right now, Justin Baldoni's team, they're going to launch an entire website containing all correspondences with Blake Lively. Every text message that she tried to say was weird. If we already got Daenerys Targaryen and dragons referring to Taylor Swift, what else do you think she texted to Justin Baldoni? That is, he is saying, let the public decide. Let's play this in the court of public opinion. You wanted the New York Times. We're going to give you everything. We're going to give you Variety. We're going to give you People. We're going to give you the Daily Mail. Let's play. I think it's too late now for her to tap out. She should have taken my advice right away. And by the way, I do want to add one more thing that really upset me about this. Despite the fact that he owned this movie, that it was his production studio that did this and bought it, Blake Lively was such a brat that her and Ryan Reynolds specifically requested during the premiere that they so did not want him to attend his own movie. This should have been his biggest night, premiering this movie that him and his studio decided to purchase as a book and adopt it into a film. They made him and his family sit in the basement because she was just so uncomfortable around him. I mean, what kind of adult can't just be like, let's sit on opposite sides of the room. Let's avoid each other. Nope. Look at his family. They were put into a basement to watch the premiere on a screen. You can see all the stocks beverages in the background. You can see them sitting at a table with popcorn, clearly still trying to make the best of it. That's him and his wife, who he loves and has been married to for, I think, 12 years. I think they got married in 2013. And they're just like, you know what? We're in the basement. We're going to make the best of it. And I love that because that's how my family would be. It would be like gang, like whatever. And she did this only to humiliate him. This last step right here was just, how can I further humiliate you? And he says that she used demands to make this happen. Essentially, maybe said, I'm not going to come to the premiere at all if I even have to lay eyes on him. And so they had security guarding and kept him in the basement like he was a rapist on the loose who couldn't possibly be in the same room as her because it would just be too re-traumatizing for her, having experienced that scene that we all just watched. Look at them. They're posing. This is a red carpet event. It's his film, and his family is posing next to Dasani water, which insults me deeply because Dasani water is disgusting, okay? Like, to add further insult to injury, it's Dasani water that they're next to, okay? And Coca-Cola in the background, pallets of it, because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds wanted to say to them, you should be further humiliated. This is our movie now. Absolutely disgusting. She's an elitist. I'm going to leave it at that. Blake Lively, I am not a fan. I am so team Justin Baldoni. I want to start selling t-shirts and wearing them with his face on it, but I'm afraid of his lawyer, Brian Friedman. He would come for me, and I think he would win because obviously he's got a little bit of fire right now. So that's all I'm going to say about that topic.
How much money do you make off the United States government?
I don't know the size of our work with the U.S.
I do.
government, Senator.
In 2021, you made more than $850 million in consulting work for the federal government with the Department of Defense as your top client. You make gobs of money off of our enemies, and then you turn around and you make gobs of money off of us. It's outrageous, frankly. Listen, you shouldn't be doing any work with the Chinese Communist Party and any enterprise that they own or have some share in. You shouldn't. And if you were serious about ethics, you wouldn't be doing it. But it's particularly outrageous that you then make money, almost $1 billion in a year, off the United States government, including the Defense Department. Mr. Sternfels, if I could just start with you. Did I hear you say in your opening statement, I'm going to quote you now, we have the industry's most rigorous client selection policy? Did I get that right?
We believe that to be true, Senator.
Well, how is it then that you end up with so many clients who are state-owned Chinese corporations hostile to the United States?
Thank you, Senator. So the basis for my answer was we've invested over $700 million over the last several years to put in place a rigorous client selection process that looks at a whole series of factors.
Well, let's talk about some of your clients. Like the China Communications Construction Company. This is a firm that is blacklisted by the United States government. This is a state-owned enterprise that is responsible for building artificial islands in the South China Sea, probably in direct contravention of international law, certainly in direct contravention to United States security interests. You help them develop their 5-year plan. Why is that a good idea?
Senator, our work in China overwhelmingly works with multinational companies, including many of those being U.S. And private sector.
No, actually, you've advised 22 of the 100 biggest state-owned companies in China. That's according to the New York Times. Let's talk about another one, the Chinese Ocean Shipping Company. That's a state-owned conglomerate that's played a key role in China's naval expansion. I'm quoting from NBC News here. And Beijing's bid to extend its global reach. This company has been given special status by the CCP and forms the core of China's defense industrial base. This company has provided logistical support to the Chinese Navy's escort operations in the Gulf of Aden, and experts say, I'm still quoting, it serves as the maritime logistical arm for the People's Liberation Army. You're advising them. How much money did you make on that contract?
No, Senator, we're not advising them. Neither
did you ever advise them?
Historically, we advised on none of the topics that you had highlighted.
You didn't advise the Chinese Ocean Shipping Company?
Not on the topics you described, Senator.
Why is it a good idea to advise them at all? They're a state-owned enterprise engaged in activity directly contrary to the security interests of this nation.
And they're no longer a client of ours.
The largest recorded outbreak in United States history of tuberculosis is occurring currently in the Kansas City, Kansas metro area, mainly in Wyandotte County, but also in Johnson County as well. There are currently 79 active and 213 latent cases of tuberculosis. What I mean by that is that it is caused by a bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Some people can carry the bacteria and not have outwardly symptoms. That's what latent TB is, versus active TB is where you become symptomatic. This is typically spread through prolonged exposure to someone who is coughing or sneezing. It could also be spread through raw milk as well. This information is coming from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and right now they believe that the risk to the general public is low. However, an outbreak like this normally would be alerted to the general public and physicians through the CDC's Health Alert Network, which is not happening right now because there is still a pause that's been issued by the executive branch of the government to federal health agencies. This pause needs to stop as quickly as possible because to tackle public health problems, communications is key.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride, for 5 minutes.
Did you catch what just happened here? So Representative Mary Miller from Illinois introduced one of her colleagues, Mr. Tim McBride, onto the House floor. And the thing about Tim McBride is Tim doesn't want to be called Tim. Tim wants to be called Sarah. But Mary Miller is like, you know what, Tim, I'm done denying biological reality, and we're not playing your game. So when I introduce you, you're going to be Mr. McBride, which is what you really are. And I have to give it to this lady because it is the high time that we are speaking in truth again in this nation, and we're not putting up with it anymore. I used to do things like say things like years ago, like, oh, you know, if Frank wants to be called Sheila, what does it hurt me? I don't care. I'll call Frank Sheila. But then Frank decided that he really was Sheila and that he should be in my bathroom and my locker room and my dressing room in stores, and he should be on women's sports teams, and he should be able to take a woman's scholarship or win a woman's award. You know what, Frank? No more. I'm not calling you Sheila anymore. Once you decided that your army of trans people wasn't big enough, so you decided to go after the children so you could grow and become a more mainstream part of society. When you started messing with kids' minds, nope, you lost me. You lost me. Your name is Frank. That's all there is to it. McBride, your name is Tim. Your name is Mr. McBride. That's all there is to it. Get used to it, because we are not accepting this anymore. It's over. It's time for truth. It's over.
In case you're wondering what it's like being transgender under this new administration, I just got my new passport in the mail and they changed the gender to male because of Donald Trump. In case y'all want proof, there's my picture. Very cunty. And yeah, there's that big ugly M. Yay!
No, they didn't change your gender to male because of Donald Trump. They changed your gender to male because you're a male. And we're going to reaffirm reality and real science and not imaginary things in this country. You can put on a lady costume every single day. You're allowed to. You're an adult. You can put on lipstick and eyeliner and fake eyelashes and high heels and spandex and whatever it is that makes you happy, honey. But you're still a dude in a lady costume. And you're not going to play around with government documents anymore just to make your feelings feel better. Sorry.
Oats milk latte drinking, avocado toast eating. Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. Can I take cocaine with my spouse?
No, sir. No, sir.
I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut. I'm not talking about buying it, but let's suppose I came in one day and the cocaine was there. People who are bilingual, they speak English and stupid. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Looks like we're giving Lindsay Lohan the keys to the minibar. President Biden is sort of like Kevin Bacon at the end of Animal House, the cantina bar scene out of Star Wars. They wanted it like Ben wants J-Lo. Frankly, I can't, because I can't get my head that far up my rear end. Stick it up their fact checker. They can kiss my ass. Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce, okay? We cannot run the greatest economy by putting fairy dust and unicorn urine in our cars. Urinate to get off the pot. My car doesn't run off fairy dust. My car doesn't run off unicorn urine. Or next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead, call a criminal, call a meth head. It must suck to be that dumb. I don't mean disrespect, but the mayor needs to take her meds. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
What's your title? You're the director of what?
Of the Loan Programs Office.
You're the director of the Loan Programs for the federal government, Department of Energy, people who want to get loans from the government are paying to see you, and you think that that's fine? That's not a rhetorical question.
I think I've answered that I go to many conferences and events. I've had hundreds of stakeholder events. The goal is to get people.
You're going to events where people are paying to see you who want money from the government. You're the director of the loan program. You think that that's okay? You don't see any conflict of interest with that?
And then there's one other element I want to remind, because this is painful stuff that people don't want to talk about in Washington. She interviewed a lot of these children who related to her what happened to them on their journey when they're in the custody of the cartels. Yes, they were sexually assaulted. Yes, they were forced into labor that isn't appropriate for children under the age of 18. Yes, they're told that they have to pay off their debts when they get here, and they don't know what that means. Does that mean having sex? Does that mean doing some form of indentured servitude until they pay off their debts? It's the most inhumane way that any child could ever enter the country, and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris created that pathway.
Ms. Marcos, you testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not getting meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator, ORR.
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. Do you do home visits in all cases? You can actually see where these children are being released, whose care you're putting them in?
We do not do home visits in all cases. Senator, I'd really like the opportunity to talk about what we
Let's look at what the secretary said to you. Mr. Becerra, the secretary, told the ORR director, that's you, right?
Extraordinary times call for extraordinary people.
Yes.
That if she could not increase the number of discharges, he would find someone who could. That if Henry Ford had run his plants like this, he would never have become famous and rich. This is not the way you do an assembly line. Get the kids out, run them through, get them out to those sponsors, those traffickers. Why didn't you resign when he said this? Do you think that this is morally acceptable? Do you think that this is acceptable to run ORR like an assembly line and to release these children to traffickers?
We do not run ORR like an assembly line. The safety and well-being of children is our top concern.
Plainly, it is not your top concern because you have managed to lose 85,000 of them, and they're with labor traffickers. How many are you in regular contact with right now?
I don't have the specific number.
How can you not know? Why would you come to this hearing and not know?
Respectfully,
I would like you to do your job and not release children to human traffickers. Respectfully, that's what I would like. I'd like you not facilitate the largest child trafficking ring in American history.
Holy crap, are you kidding me? Did you guys hear the news? I had to jump on here, it's early, I'm still waking up, but Tom Brady, I think I just went from hating you to absolutely loving you. If you just single-handedly took down the Chiefs, I don't know if you heard, but Tom Brady has come out with huge accusations against the wife of the Chiefs owner that she paid millions of dollars to the refs to give the Chiefs an advantage in the AFC Championship game. And Tom says he's got concrete proof to back this up. This is huge. First off, do you need another reason to ban the Super Bowl? Second off, I'm going to call it right now. There will be no NFL season next year. I think this is going to open the floodgates for a lot more whistleblowers. And third, If this is true, this forever tarnishes the legacy of Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, you name it. They have an asterisk on their name, just like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Tom Brady. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is this good or bad? Are you hoping this is true or not?